For too long, Gameworld and Cordyceps Jones have caused nothing but trouble for the mutants of Krakoa. Will a daring daylight mission be exactly what the Doctor ordered? Well, let's hop into the pages of X-Men issue number 11 and find out together, shall we? So then, as the comic opens up, we actually learn that longtime X-Men foe Mojo actually has a stake in Gameworld. We learned this during his Mojo World Plus presentation. Yes, that's right, a Disney Plus joke. Isn't that fun? It makes a lot of sense, too, that Mojo and Gameworld are in league with one another when we stop and consider that the whole Gameworld casino having people bet money on whether or not monsters and alien invaders will destroy Earth does sound a lot like Mojo World. Now, after Rogue, thanks to the help of Rocket Raccoon in the previous issue, finally managed to discover where Gameworld is, the X-Men team have dispatched some of their heaviest and most well-dressed hitters to deal with the problem personally. Now, obviously, because this is a super high-risk, high-roller casino in space, they're not going to get through the door with just average chips. It's a good thing that the people who run this place are every bit as greedy as they are evil, and once the X-Ladies start waving around a bunch of Mysterium, they're let in. No questions asked, no fuss, no muss. Now, that's not to say that dealing with Gameworld is going to be easy, quite the opposite. Rocket lets them in on everything he's learned about the place from all his time gambling there. The entire station makes use of psi dampeners, which are robots that can actually stop people like Jean Grey from using their amazing psychic powers. Obviously, this is to try and crack down on people cheating. The robots also operate as slot machines and strippers too, because hey, why not? When they say Gameworld is all-inclusive, they really do mean it's all-inclusive. Now, while all of this is going on, the X-Men have left Sunfire to guard their base, the Treehouse. And it's a good thing he's there too, because Avengers, Iron Man, and Captain Marvel come a-knocking to finally ask the mutants about all these monster attacks that seem to be directed mainly at them. Sunfire does everything he can to keep the two Avengers busy, not just because of the mission that's happening out in space, but also because of an even more secret mission that's happening underground in New Jersey. Synch and Cyclops feel that they finally have managed to corner Dr. Stasis, the mad scientist who's been causing no end of trouble for Krakoa and who is responsible for the quote-unquote murder of Scott Summers. By the time our heroic duo make the scenes, Stasis's goons are already scrubbing the place, and by scrubbing it I mean they're literally throwing their own bodies into an incinerator, knowing full well that Stasis will just regrow them somewhere else. Now, back on Gameworld, Laura sneaks away from the rest of the group in hopes of trying to corner Cordyceps Jones. Here's the thing though, the nasty mushroom boss of Gameworld is actually quite powerful in his own right. Using his alien spores, he not only manages to incapacitate Wolverine, but take over her body as well too, making her an unwilling puppet. Honestly though, still probably not the worst thing that could happen to you in a casino back room. I've seen that Robert De Niro movie. Gameworld is massive too, in case you were wondering, not just filled with gambling, but also shopping, spas, and other such amenities. Polaris decided to stop off and do some shopping as well as some much needed recon. It would seem that Gameworld actually runs entirely on slave labor. People work and break their backs here, and in exchange, Cordyceps Jones doesn't put their own planet up on the chopping block like he did to Earth. Our heroes are officially through the looking glass now, and there's no need to keep beating around the bush. Jean Grey makes her presence known, saying to the alien crowd that she was formerly known as Marvel Girl, as Jean Grey, and even sometimes the Phoenix, and that she will no longer tolerate any more acts of aggression on Earth. She then uses her powers to break the hands of a bunch of people rolling dice. Well, I mean, you know, that is psychic powers, but it's technically not cheating, so I guess it's gonna stand for now. Cordyceps Jones and his security forces are scrambled to deal with the mutant threat, and they're not alone either, as they come packing a weaponized Wolverine as their ace in the hole. But believe it or not, that's not the craziest thing to happen this issue. Back on Earth, Cyclops, in the guise of Captain Krakoa, finally manages to track down Dr. Stasis for a one-on-one confrontation. There's actually a really funny running joke all throughout this issue wherein characters keep calling Dr. Stasis Mr. Stasis, a joke that only gets funnier when Cyclops knocks this dude's Tron-inspired helmet off to reveal that he is actually Mr. Sinister under there. Well, one of the Mr. Sinisters. Lord knows he has a lot of clones running around. But how and why did a mutant clone ultimately turn against the rest of mutant kind? Well, for those answers, we'll have to check back in on the next issue. And so that was X-Men issue number 11, everybody, and overall I enjoyed this this issue. I thought they did a good job balancing the two longest running stories in this Duggan X-Men run, and that is, of course, Gameworld, why they're after Krakoa, and also who is the mysterious Dr. Stasis. There's actually something kind of refreshing about knowing the X-Men are more than capable of dealing with two different threats from two totally different sources all at once. We certainly learn a lot about Gameworld, what makes them tick, and how they operate in a greater Marvel universe. It just seems weird that we're learning all of this basically right at the end when they're going to be dealt with. The Dr. Stasis reveal is also pretty surprising too. I assumed that he was actually a brand new villain for this run, and now we discover that he's actually a clone of an older villain. The question remains though, if this Sinister and the Prime Sinister are in league with one another, it would explain how this guy had information that he probably shouldn't have had. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good read, though I'd be lying if I said 11 issues in I didn't feel that I was still being stringed along on a couple different story arcs. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.